When you work with Witro Wealth Management, you can count on the Witro Service Standard. The Witro Service Standard is a commitment to their clients. As your chosen financial advisor, their team is committed to going above and beyond, customizing a plan that achieves your goals. They promise to provide you with the knowledge, communication, and resources necessary to make the best decisions for your financial future, all while providing you the outstanding personal customer care you've come to expect from Witro advisors. They're here to help you on your journey. Learn more, visit witroadvisors.com. Affiliated with Capital Investment Advisory Services, LLC. Securities offered through Capital Investment Group, Inc. Member FINRA and SIPC. 100 East 6 Forks Road, Suite 200, Raleigh, North Carolina, 27609. 919-831-2370.
All right, welcome into another episode of the 419. Thanks to our sponsors, Witro Wealth Management and WorkSpring, for their support of the podcast. We are in a different location.
Yes, we are.
For this episode.
And guess what? The mics are attached, so there's no way that I won't be able to talk into
I actually...
I don't know if that's better or worse.
So Phil, whose studio we're using...
it's a great studio.
Group, I actually had that conversation with Phil when we were debating. The microphones we use are here in this building right now.
Okay.
And we decided not to use them because you don't know how to use them anyway.
Well,
so
I
here
think
we are.
that's...
This is going to be the
valid.
most popular downloaded
It is, because you can hear my
podcast,
voice.
and you're going to jam that down our throats every time now.
So on the way here, Kev, you sent us a text that said you were coming in hot.
Yeah, so
And I didn't know what that meant.
I apparently don't know what that means either, because I felt fairly confident that what that meant was I will be there right on time. Like,
Yeah.
I'm going to be flying in, coming in hot.
What did you think about meant?
All scatological. I just assumed
Did you
it's-
say archaeological?
That's right. Sort of.
Tectonic plate situation? Is that what you...
Archaeologically speaking.
It's not a science
Please,
show.
Indiana Jones, tell me more about this.
Our family talks about that as a warning to those who are inhabiting the place you're going to, that you need help unlocking doors, moving barriers from the bathroom.
Because you got to get there.
Yeah,
coming
that's
in
right.
hot.
So you think I'm texting the group saying, hey, you've never been in this building before,
Yeah.
but make sure I can get to the
Yeah, I wasn't sure what to do.
Okay.
So
You didn't
Yeah.
do anything. I thought it meant either you literally were hot, like
Yeah,
temperature-wise,
your response to me was temperature question mark?
Yeah, it was
or
like
that
the
you
old,
were mad.
It was the most old-timey response.
Yeah. Do you need some ice water?
Yeah, it is warm outside.
Say, fellas.
Oh my goodness. You guys are so
boy.
ridiculous.
All
All
right,
right,
it
Kevin.
is.
Enough of this
It is
malarkey.
It is my episode, and one of the things that I so enjoy about this podcast is being able to bring on guests that aren't just people that I'm like, oh, I think more people should know this person, but I'm genuinely a huge fan.
Okay.
Cool.
And this guest is no exception to that. Super sad to have him on. I tried to get him on earlier. I may have given them a Matt Killam level of notice, saying hey, what are you doing in 2 hours? And they weren't available. But I was like, all right, we're going to do it again. And so they are back.
So it's a man.
I didn't say that.
Oh. Okay.
I don't think I've
I thought you
indicated gender.
I thought you said, have them. So maybe I misheard.
I may have said have them, as in have them.
Okay, got
It's an
it.
abbreviation for
Sure.
coming in
Well,
hot.
guessing the guest is a big part of the show, so let's belabor this
Yeah,
point.
that's right. That's right. We're gonna do 40 minutes of guess the guest. All right, so they hold a degree from, and I need to make sure that I pronounce this right because it's very important to all of their alumni, the Ohio State University.
All right.
They've got their JD from Capital University.
Interesting.
They have
Okay.
worked in the nonprofit sector. They've worked in the government sector.
I know who it is.
I do too, I think.
You think you know who it is?
Homelessness.
You're on the right track. We're just going to brag about them. They've won the Sisters of Notre Dame Toledo Women Who Shine Award in 2023, Toledo's 20 Under 40 Award in 2019, and was part of the 2022 Leadership Ohio cohort.
Wow.
They are currently the president of Cherry Street Mission Ministries. Please welcome Rachel Gagnon.
All right.
Nice. Hi, guys.
Rachel.
Yeah, just saw you. Good to see you.
Know you well enough, but I feel like I know you. Hi, nice to see you. Hi, dear.
How are you?
Hi.
Good to see you.
Nice digs.
We did it just for you.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
We had to step things up for this.
Yeah, we
episode.
did.
Yeah.
We had to make it
So-
fancy.
I'll go anywhere.
No, our next guest is awesome.
Oh, okay. We'll see ya.
How's it going?
Oh, it's going so good. I
Good.
just met Linda in your green room. You should have her on, by the way. She's
Who is it?
delightful. Linda. She's a paralegal for 41 years. We're like this now.
Okay.
So she's wonderful, and your digs are wonderful too. So kudos
Yeah.
to you all.
We have a green room?
You have a green, it's
Interesting.
yellow, but it's a yellow green room.
We
Okay.
bring Gretchen
Yeah.
through the back
Oh.
of the dumpsters.
That's
So
right.
She's never actually seen the front.
That's right.
You didn't get the full tour.
No, I didn't.
Yeah,
I didn't.
this is all the tour.
Rightfully so.
Yeah.
All right, so you are from Toledo.
Yes.
Let's start there in the
Yes.
beginning where
Yes.
Matt likes to start most stories.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, like where
Yes.
stories start.
Well, I'm a Cancer, and I like long walks on the beach.
I knew it.
And, no, yeah, so I'm technically born in Maryland.
Where in
but-
Maryland?
Baltimore.
Okay.
You say technically. I mean,
Well, I was there for like
I
a
think
year.
you were actually
So
born in Maryland.
yeah, I was.
Yeah.
But I claimed Toledo.
Okay.
Yeah.
Claimed
all right.
Toledo.
All right,
Toledo
I
is,
like it.
I love Toledo.
Were you in The Wire?
Which season?
Yeah, right?
That
The way back ones. The
Yeah.
early ones,
Yeah,
yes.
the docs one.
Yes.
Yeah. Still good.
All right, so moved here.
He's trying to keep us on
Yeah.
track here.
Yeah, that's his role.
Yeah, so I claimed Toledo like just my whole childhood, left for the Ohio State University and Capital, but then came back because I love it so much here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine, or you probably can't imagine the coincidence. I just ran into you.
Yes.
I volunteered at Cherry Street last
Like,
week.
was it? Yeah, it was
Doing what?
Thursday or Friday?
Hard to say.
Serving a meal.
That's right. One of the days.
Serving a
Yep,
meal.
Yes.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. And I even just saw you then over the counter, so I didn't get a chance to talk to you.
Yeah, that's the way to interact
That's
with me.
awesome. Yeah.
That is always better.
With a
than-
bar.
What did you two do last week, you selfish? Yeah,
Oh, is that going to show? Okay.
it is. Well, for me,
Got it.
yeah.
When he has the upper
I did
hand.
hear that you don't follow the rules on this show. I
Yeah.
think you might have said that. Somebody said that.
Mainly Gretchen.
Okay.
Oh, no, yeah, Matt, you can't tell Matt what to do.
No.
Yeah,
Okay.
none of us
Noted.
Sorry, let's go back to this rigid program.
So, yeah. All right.
So the wire.
I'm just going to let you guys do your thing here.
So, off to college, come back to Toledo.
Yes.
This two-part question. So, like, did you right away get into nonprofit and homelessness and all that? And then when did you know that's the work you wanted to do? Where did that come from?
So it's a good question. I got in almost immediately to nonprofit. I was telling my new friend Linda that I dabbled for a very hot second into domestic law, which I can say definitively
Torture.
is torture.
Yeah.
And I knew pretty instantly that I was just going to be miserable. And so I had an opportunity here in Toledo at Sunshine Communities.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I started there. That was where I cut my teeth. Owe them a lot of credit. Learned so much there. But really kind of started ground up, doing some case management for individuals with disabilities. Then I moved into the business operations standpoint and then kind of grew from there. Spent about 7 years there.
Oh, wow.
And just by the grace of God and all of the other fortuitous things, was put on a housing project. And so we were tasked with building housing out in the community for individuals with disabilities that was compatible. And that really opened my eyes to this space, right? And so the very first task was like, hey, we're getting some pushback. Could you go down to the plan commission and make a good case, right? And so it was
You're lucky
like,
you ever got out of there.
it was a long
this
meeting.
will
But we,
fulfill my
Uh-huh.
of a little girl.
I was like, okay, I can do this, right? But we had so many community supporters. Sunshine is well loved. And the neighborhood really rallied around us too. And so that was like
What was the neighborhood?
over by Little Flower.
Yeah, sure.
Olympia.
Yeah.
So we built 2 homes there, big, beautiful homes. But that was like a really cool project because it combined like some advocacy, some grant management, donations, actual construction, programming and case management to get folks acclimated to their new house, community relationships.
The politics of it all.
And I was just like, boom, boom,
Yeah,
boom,
yeah,
boom.
yeah.
Like I was like, this is my jam. Like I'm happy as a clam right now. So did that, and that was probably a 2 or 3 year project. We ended up doing 3 large houses, one over in Walbridge as well. 24 individuals who had never lived out in the community, had only previously lived in a very institutional setting.
Was this part of that whole time frame when they were moving people out of the institutions?
Yep.
Yes,
Yeah. And that too has kind of seen its ebbs and flows. But that got my feet wet. And then from there, I started chatting with some folks in the homelessness board space, and they were redeveloping the whole homelessness board. And they were like, hey, we got a new board. We have no staff. Do you want to come recreate it? And I was like, heck yeah, that's
great.
like a
And how long have you
challenge.
done that?
So I was only there.
I would say that's where you and I met, and I was
Yes,
so
yes,
confused.
yes.
Because I think I had seen something to say that you were named the president of the board, and I remember reaching out to you and
Yeah.
saying something like, "Hey, congrats on serving as the chair of the board," or something like that. And
Yeah.
you were like, "No, this is a real organization, a real business."
It's
just
really
happens to be
confusing
named.
because it's called a board, but
Yeah.
it actually is a
So what
C3.
is
Yeah.
the homelessness board?
So they're charged with overseeing like the system level response for homelessness services in the city. And so they're not a direct service provider like Cherry Street is, but they oversee kind of the data management of the system, the funding of the system, the rules and regulations, any sort of troubleshooting or community relationships or politics or advocacy. So they're kind of like, almost like the Mental Health and Recovery Services Board would be for the Unisons and the Zepfs of the world. So I spent a couple years there. Then I went into public housing and affordable housing by way of the Housing Authority. So very much a continuum of the same work, housing, anti-poverty work. Sat on the board of Cherry Street and then ended up at Cherry Street. I can't tell you at one point, I think it must have been that first project that I worked on and got my feet wet, and I was just like, this is my jam, and I'm doing
And
it.
so, go ahead.
Please, God.
Please, go ahead.
People,
It's pronounced Gretchen.
Yeah, and not to me. Gretchen, can you finish what will inevitably be a long
Yeah, it's going to be a good one.
Yeah.
really
So
nice.
Cherry Street Missions is
missions?
the name of the organization.
She's getting
right? Cherry
old,
Street
so
Mission.
she
It's
just makes
okay.
everything
It's
plural.
okay.
And it's the actual mission.
Can you say Kroger's
Ministries, Cherry Street Ministries,
You like
is
eating
that
a
what the
child's?
umbrella organization
Cherry
is?
Street Mission, formerly Cherry Street Mission Ministries.
Okay.
You have an excuse.
Thank you.
Yes.
And so it's the actual mission, and then it's that revitalization
Yes.
center that's also on Monroe Street.
Yes.
Those are the two main
So we have
locations?
three major facilities. We've got another smaller transitional housing house, but primarily what we do, well, I shouldn't say primarily, we do so much.
I was going to. I would like to get into some of that.
It's so much more. And I was just giving a presentation this morning about how Cherry Street, back in when it started 78 years ago, right, was like the traditional hot in the cot, right,
Yeah.
for men, primarily coming out of the war, many of whom were using alcohol or other substances to cope with their PTSD. We were, in the traditional sense back then, a soup kitchen, right? So that is clearly evolved over the 78 years. So now we've got a men's shelter, emergency shelter, we've got a women's shelter, we have transitional housing. The Life Revitalization Center that you know on Monroe Street is where the bulk of our programming happens. So 3 meals a day, 365 days a year. We've got case managers, we've got workforce development programs. We do a little bit of everything now. So really it's just in the vein of what does it take to fight poverty?
Yeah.
How do we meet people where they're at? And how do we give them tools to get out of it?
So, how do you gather data to have an understanding of need? It's an almost impossible part of our population to survey, or to count.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
how do you know? How do you know what the goal budget
Oh,
or
yeah.
need is? How do you figure this out?
It's almost a futile attempt to
Yeah.
to even get there. I don't know.
It's like this show.
It's an exercise every year. No comment. It's to the short answer to your question is there's no good way to get it.
Yeah, sure.
So we do this exercise once or twice a year as a community to count folks, right? Which I really could pull my hair out talking about the logistics of that. You're never going to get everybody. They do it on a certain night of the year to try and count the most folks when folks are in shelter, the cold months. But you don't need to know anything about this space to know that folks are sleeping on couches,
Absolutely.
in their cars, behind a Walmart, you name it. So any
There's
number.
shame involved in this.
Oh
so
my
there's
gosh,
people
so
who are
much.
purposefully ducking.
So much.
Which I
Yeah.
And mental health.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So we talk about our mission being to eradicate poverty, and I was sharing with someone this morning, in a perfect world, we would build the infrastructure and meet folks where they're at, give them the tools they need, and work our way out of a job, right?
Yeah.
But the reality is that this problem that our community or our culture or society has is so layered with politics and economics and history and systems and policies and racism and
Sure.
resources or lack thereof. And so I don't know that we can single-handedly eradicate it per se, but that's what our mission is.
What is
God.
success, right? Because someone with all of the host of issues that you just talked about, getting someone in a house might not be a successful thing.
Yeah.
Right? You may
Yeah.
never be able to get someone there, right?
Yeah.
So so how do you gauge that the investments or the donations that people are doing, the time and volunteerism that people are doing is helping
Yeah.
or improving the situation?
Yeah.
Or
Well,
at
it
least
looks
enough
different.
to keep your mental health
Right.
where it needs to be.
Right.
Or
Right. Yeah.
The balance of that
Yeah.
is a good
It's
question.
different for every person. There's no silver bullet. There's no quick
Yeah.
answer. There's no one size fits all. Housing for some folks is the goal, right? And for some folks, it's a group home. And for some folks, we've got a couple of folks that are staying with us right now that, provided that nothing major changes for them, they'll probably stay with us for a while,
Yeah.
right? And we don't, relish in that. Of course, we would love for them to move up and on, but that's maybe not their reality because of whatever their history is or whatever
Right.
their diagnoses are. So it looks different for every single person. What we define success by is three major pillars. And so what we try to do is we think housing. Housing is number one, the answer always, I think. I'm very biased in this space.
Sure.
Housing solves or can solve or can be the foundation to solve so many of our societal challenges. So affordable housing and safe housing is one piece of the puzzle. And I say affordable and safe intentionally because we've all seen the news stories lately that a roof over your head does not make a safe environment inherently. So a safe and affordable housing. We also talk about reliable income. And that too looks different for everybody, right? So for you and I, it may mean a job where we get paid every 2 weeks. For somebody else, it may mean Social Security or SNAP benefits or child support or you name it. And then on top of income then would be strong relationships. So not everybody that we see has really healthy social networks.
Sure.
A lot of folks have lost family over the years. That's a type of poverty as well as relational poverty.
Interesting. I don't think I've ever heard that articulated, but that makes a lot of sense to
It's
me.
heartbreaking.
Yeah,
you
sure.
know,
Or
and
the
I-
last person left.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I saw it last year on Christmas Day. I was sitting
We don't
down.
need that story. That would, I can't imagine.
But you have to go there. You can't avoid it.
Well, it's your show.
Yeah.
We're ready. Go ahead.
No, we'll keep it up.
No, you're right.
We'll keep it uplifting.
It is
It's
important.
okay.
It is important. Sure.
Well, it's just somebody telling us directly to our face, don't take this the wrong way, Rachel, but I don't really want to be here with you right now.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, I get it.
I get it.
Right? Because you would much rather be in your house sitting by a fire with your kids or your parents or whatever. One thing that I've seen too is that it has to be like all three of those pillars, because I've seen situations where folks have obtained housing and come back because they're lonely and their
Yeah.
people, their friends, and their new family is at the shelter, right? And how can you fault someone for that?
That's right.
Can't.
So you need all three.
That makes a lot of sense to me,
Yeah.
although it wouldn't have been intuitive to me, but I get it.
I think I had a parallel conversation when I was in Honduras with one of the community managers there. They've got, we went there with a nonprofit that provides services to the neighborhood next to a dump.
Okay.
And so to me, intuitively, the goal is to get people out of that neighborhood. And she was like, no, this is where they grew up.
Oh, yeah.
Like, this is where all of their friends
This
and
is
all
community-
of
this
their
is
family and
community. Yeah.
unless we're going to find a way to get everybody out and move them together,
Yep.
but they want to stay together.
Yep.
And so it's about finding all of those other
Yep.
resources that they need, education, food,
Yep.
income, without messing with what they consider to be stability.
Yeah.
To
Yeah.
say, I don't
What
get,
they know.
I don't
Yeah.
get to decide
Yeah.
what a stable home
Right.
looks like
Yeah.
for somebody else.
Yeah. As long as it's healthy, it can look like a.
But here's what I don't
multitude of different
understand.
things.
Because the president is very clearly saying that all they have to do is move. So why haven't you guys just said that? just move.
To where?
Of course, I'm being sarcastic. But
There's gonna be a big ballroom.
I mean, but
but
this
like
is
the simplistic.
Yeah, are we
and
going to go there? Let's go there.
Yeah, I mean,
But the
my thoughts.
simplistic nature of the issue that you guys are, and I say single issue, but an issue that you guys are addressing as it relates to homelessness.
Yeah.
Like the solution to that has been proven so simple
Yeah.
that we just won't do it.
Yeah.
But the solution is
Housing.
give them a house.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
What do you think is the barrier to that?
Yeah, me too.
The easy answer to that is resources, right? And that's what folks will say. The complicated, my opinion, answer to that is just so much bias and racism and judgment and assumptions made on what a person did or didn't do to
Right.
get in that situation.
They're just lazy.
Yeah. And I just heard just a week or two ago from Julie Embry over at the Homelessness Board, 51 or 52% of the folks in our community right now this year who are homeless, experiencing homelessness, first time.
Come on.
Yeah.
52%.
So it's changing, but like, you know, and the economy is going crazy and rent's rising and wages are staying the same. And so
And there's no investment. There's little to
No.
no investment in new housing.
No.
And the housing thing is not exclusive or to people that are unhoused.
It's
right?
all levels.
I mean, I do criminal defense work a lot, and someone will have a mental health challenge, or they will be at the VOA for a period of time, or they'll be at CTF for a period of time, which is the correctional treatment facility, or in custody, and we want to get them out. They're
Yeah.
done. They're finished with their thing. There's no place for them to go.
Oh, no.
They've never been
Yeah.
unhoused before, but maybe when they were in this whole time, you know, everything got taken away, or this person died, or whatever. It is always, always the thing that stops everything.
Yeah.
The waiting lists are forever long.
Oh, yeah.
The funding isn't there. The locations don't exist. And so is there a group in the community that's working on housing writ large that you guys are a part of, or is that still a need?
yes, of course, there's several groups and some overlap with others. You know, you can take it real broad to include things like housing developers and fair housing and ABLE and that type of groups, or you could take it real specific to the homeless services providers. There's plenty of folks fighting the fight, and I hate to keep going back to this, but at the end of the day, if your pot of resources is so limited,
Right.
we're just, you know, putting the fire out. We're not actually like stopping the underlying issue here. I think one area that Toledo is kind of waking up to more, talking about more than it has historically, is how do we get upstream in the process and start to do more prevention work and diversion
Preventive,
work?
yeah.
Yes, where we don't want you. I don't want to see you. Like, I don't, no disrespect, love you, Gretchen, but like, don't come through our doors because
Right. It's harder to
that
do that,
automatically
yeah.
is going to create even more challenges. Now you don't have an address. There's a good chance you lost your ID, right?
Yeah.
Which
Right.
is like 101. Half the folks that we see, we have to start with square one and get
And
them
that is
an
a
ID.
total, as an adult person,
Oh, yeah.
that is a complete and total pain in the ass to have to get
Oh,
an
it is.
identification.
Oh, yes.
It's a barrier on top of barrier on top of barrier, and it seems like people think, oh, just go get your ID, and it's just so
Well, do you
much
have your
more
social
complicated
security
than that.
card? And
Right.
do you want to
My
ride 4
instruction
hours
is
of buses?
mostly Park Smart. Which I'd like to
Thank you
discuss.
for the levity.
I'd like to discuss just a short amount of that right now.
Someone was just bitching today about the 45-cent transaction fee on all of the ParkSmart.
I don't want to talk about it.
I think you should try to get that for the homelessness board.
It's how-
45 cents goes.
It's right,
Before
goes
we-
right to
Cherry
Rachel's
Street.
pocket.
Oh, yeah. No,
Rachel, what, even in the best case scenario, and I'm sure the answer has a lot of variables, but what does a great week look like, Monday through Friday? Like, what does it look like?
Oh, that's a good question. It looks like a bunch of small wins.
Yeah.
And so, and I don't mean to be cliche about that, but when we just last week, we had one of our guests get housing, and she moved through our programming pretty quickly. It typically takes longer, but she was with us for about 2 months, got set up in a house. She has a healthy support network, so her mom helped her move in, right? And she was in a bad DV situation, so a little bit unique, but she got housing on one day. And then I'll tell you too, then we have, this is 2 weeks ago, but we had a birthday celebration for Cherry Street, an anniversary party. And we had, a big party out in the parking lot, and there was something really cool happening, a small win, in my opinion, of guests dancing with employees, with community partners, right? And so we talk about healthy relationships. Ideally, that means somebody in your life that's not paid to be in your life.
Sure.
Right? So do you have a friend? Do you have a pastor that you go to? Do you have an uncle that you're connected with? Whatever. And then I have to say this because it's just fun. Most Fridays we have karaoke at Cherry Street, and we do karaoke with any of our guests and or staff members who want to participate. And I'll tell you what, that is a leveling tool that will bring people together quicker than you think.
Sure,
I don't sing because it would be bad, but other people have really great voices, and it's just small wins.
Yeah.
It's real small wins.
Go ahead.
What would be your go-to song? If you have to sing, what are you doing?
Oh gosh, I'm so glad you asked.
And do it now.
No. Hard pass. Thank you. I am shamelessly, and I told you this I hinted at this in the parking lot, shamelessly in my Taylor Swift.
Of course,
stage.
there would be no third choice. I mean, I was wondering what you were even hesitating for.
Oh my God, thank you. Thank you for validating my obsession.
So you talk about that connection.
I asked him if that's why he wore the orange. Sorry to interrupt you.
No, that's okay.
Yeah.
And I don't mean this to be so personal, but this is personal work. So what is your barometer for your mental health? There's recidivism here. There's some substance abuse because there's a natural part, even a healthy progression of sobriety that is, regression.
Yep.
What is your tuning fork that makes you okay? And what's the boundary? Because sometimes being boundaryless makes you effective. What's the mechanism that you use to keep you safe?
Just a pause to appreciate that question genuinely, because I don't think we talk about it enough.
Sure.
And to be fair, I think all things considered, my role at Cherry Street is probably significantly easier to carry than some of our frontline staff. They're doing the really hard work, right? And so I don't want to not recognize that. What I learned, I'll get personal for a second. What I've learned over the years is to create a toolbox for myself that works for me, and everybody's toolbox looks different. That's the phraseology we use in our family, right? And mine, for me personally, looks like having good girlfriends, going to church regularly, doing yoga. If I don't work out, suddenly I'm like, oh, everybody's pissing me off right now. I wonder what's wrong. You haven't used your toolbox, Rachel. And then I have to tell you quickly, I have to tell you this little story because I can't not share this with you. I have a 10-year-old girl who is just the best. And she was going through a hard time at school with her best friend. Her best friend was failing. My girl is like pretty type A and rule follower, so she's doing well. And she was feeling a certain way, showing some anxiety at home about it. She thought, Sadie's going to be left behind. And she was, in the 10-year-old world, everything's a crisis.
Absolutely. Unlike the four polished gyms at this
time. We handle things with grace.
That's right. Yeah. What a goof.
So glad not to be 10
Well, wait till I tell you what she said, because then you will truly be humbled.
Yeah.
So she's really feeling anxious about it, and she's like emotional, and I'm trying to talk to her, and I'm delivering this really ineloquent, inarticulate speech to her about how you love her, you can love her, but really Sadie's got to lean into this, and this is Sadie's task to dig into, and you support her and you love her, but Sadie's got to step up. And we love Sadie, and Sadie's doing fine, by the way. But at the end, I'm just bumbling like an idiot, kind of like right now. And I'm saying this to her, and at the very end of it, she looks at me, just cool as a cucumber, and she goes, "You mean I should care and not carry?"
Good Lord.
And I was
What
like,
the hell?
And you're like, that's right. Just like mine.
That's Mel Robbins. You should
I
do
know.
that.
Yeah.
And I was like,
No,
I'm sorry,
Robbins.
where were you 45 years ago?
Yeah, right. Yeah. Or 45 minutes ago.
Or 45 minutes ago.
Yeah.
So all of that is to say, one, it was just an awesome moment, but we now use that phrase in
Yeah,
our
I love
family,
it.
and now at work now too, I've shared it with my colleagues, and we're all like,
Yeah, no
right?
kidding.
Right.
Care, don't carry.
That's
You
beautiful.
can care, you can walk alongside somebody.
That's great.
In the work of poverty, in the work of recovery, in the work of mental health. They have to be ready to show up too. And you're no good to somebody if you have
Yeah.
to put your own oxygen mask on.
Yeah. So you mentioned faith. So I guess this is a two-parter.
Two-parter?
The role that is in your life, and also growing up, somebody sculpted the character that is with us today. So a little bit about your family. But faith to you, can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. So at Cherry Street, we talk about faith journey way more than we talk about religion
Sure.
these days, because it looks really different for everybody.
Sure.
And so one way that we talk about it, the language that we use is Are you walking toward faith? Are you walking toward Christ? Are you walking toward a belief system or a value system? What that looks like for me in everyday life is like love. Like, are you showing up with love? That's it. It's that simple. And somebody said recently, or repeated a phrase recently that said, religion can be complicated, but love is not complicated. And so that's kind of like the way that I approach it these days. Growing up, we were moderately religious. We went on Christmas mass.
Sure. Yeah.
Not too ingrained in it, but very much instilled with the values of like love and empathy and compassion, and being a good citizen, really.
Yeah.
So that kind of was the foundation of it. I can tell you other stuff about my family because you asked a broad question there. But so that's kind of what guides me. I went through my own faith journey. I've dabbled in different religions. And at the end of the day, I want to go somewhere and I want to be with people who have similar values to me. And
Sure.
what that means is like, do you care about your fellow community
Yeah.
members? And if you do, like, you're my people, let's walk and do this thing together.
Yeah.
Is Cherry Street a religious affiliated?
Yep.
And who is it? Mercy? Who are they affiliated with? Or is
Just independent.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. But we're a Christian-based organization. Yeah. And we live and breathe it every day. So we don't force anybody to do anything.
Sure.
Because it's ridiculous to be like, hey, you're in crisis and you need. Folks will come in and say, I just need something to eat, or I just need somewhere to put my head tonight, or I just need a clean pair of clothes. And if we were to say, but let me tell you how to budget,
Right.
or let me tell you about
Right.
God's love, like
Sure.
they're not ready. Like folks aren't ready for that conversation yet. So really, we just walk it, demonstrate it, welcome them with open arms. When you're ready, if you want to participate in some sort of chapel service, you can. You don't have to, but we want you to feel loved. Yeah.
and funding
For
is
it.
never enough.
Love
but-
it. We love it.
For it.
We love it. We're having our fundraiser coming up in the
Okay.
next couple of weeks.
Yeah, tell us all about
I
that.
can't not say that. We are just so lucky to have strong community supporters. I have to say that. So Cherry Street historically has been primarily privately funded. The climate of philanthropy is changing
Yes.
and changing rapidly. And so we're trying to kind of get ahead of that 8 ball and get a little bit more creative in how we, layer funding. So we dabble in the grant space. We're not too far into the grant space, but we do try and leverage some grant dollars where it makes sense to do so. Start to get more into like planned giving is always an option. We're looking at some revenue generating business lines that support our mission, but also bring in money. And that's where we kind of get real creative about like, do we want to at some point pursue Medicaid billing? Do we want to pursue like a for-profit arm that feeds the nonprofit arm? Like there's just a bunch of opportunities out there that help us get ahead of that. But yeah, it's not enough. We have our food truck, not a moneymaker, but I do want to talk about that.
Sure.
What is the food truck? I haven't heard about this.
We just saw it outside. It just drove by. So we have a food truck. It opened last year. It's part of our workforce development program.
Very smart.
It's incredible. You would love it. It's called Second Helping, and what it does is it serves like several different functions as a social enterprise. So we have a culinary class where we teach folks safe serve skills and certification.
This
so
is
they
genius.
learn. Yeah. So they get the certification at the end of the class. They can go work in a restaurant setting, or we also layer that with entrepreneurial skills. So then we've had folks who go out and start their own food truck. So go through the training. That's great. That in and of itself is cool. Graduate. If you want, you can get a job on the food truck. Also cool. Then we take the food truck out into food deserts in the community and feed folks for free healthy meals.
That's amazing.
So it's just a way to kind of
How
like
long has that been
circularly-
going on?
About a year.
Wow, that's so cool.
She just
Yeah.
said that.
Oh yeah, she did.
It's okay.
Sorry.
Yeah.
There was a lot there.
Sorry.
Such a great idea.
Sorry, I'm so excited. I could talk about it for hours.
I want to talk a little bit more about you in Toledo and sort of journey coming back,
Yeah.
and less about work, but more
Okay.
about this community.
Let's do it.
So you went to Columbus for school.
Yes.
You come back to Toledo.
Yeah.
What was it that brought you back here? You say, I wanted to come back. What was it that brought you back?
I think Toledo, I don't know if I would have been able to articulate this years ago, but I know now what it was. Toledo has so many opportunities, but also is very approachable. So it's not intimidating.
I
So to
agree.
kind of get your foot in at a Columbus level, it's a lot, right? And you can find your niche or your circle or your neighborhood, but it's really not approachable in the sense that Toledo is. So I loved the ability to be like, oh, I know somebody over at that organization. We could partner with them. Let me call my friend, or let me
That's
call
right.
my aunt's neighbor or whatever. It's so interconnected, which sometimes has its faults, but most of the time is a good thing. I felt like I could hit the ground running, do some meaningful work, be a part of a bigger thing, and not just kind of be a cog.
Yeah, that's been thematic throughout a lot of the shows, as you would
Yeah.
guess. But this is a privileged voice, but a lot of things in Toledo you can participate in by showing up.
Yep.
I moved back from Chicago, not dissimilar to Columbus. You either had to duke it out to get access,
Yeah.
get lucky,
Yep.
know someone,
Know
be
somebody,
born into
yeah.
it, right? So again,
Yeah.
that already is off a very privileged space. I fully acknowledge that, but you can participate if you show up
Yeah.
here almost without exception.
Yeah.
So that absolutely.
Well, I mean, not to get too poetic about it, but you and I have bumped into each other, a handful of times in the last couple of years.
and that's
I
a
don't
reason
know
to
you
move.
right there. Because we're a hoot.
Right, that's a downside.
Oh, I was trying to attract folks for that
Yeah.
reason. I think we're
I mean,
fun.
yes. Yes.
But no, I mean, like, so you start to like see familiar faces,
Yeah.
and you know, our paths have crossed multiple times, and you're everywhere. So, but like you start to see familiar
Agreed.
faces, and it's just like, oh, I think I know who to call for something.
But you should
or
give
to
yourself
get
some
into
credit.
it.
And actually, Phil, who's with us today, was asking how you and I met Kevin. And it is like the usual Toledo way. I couldn't remember. And like us, it is through
Right.
repetition.
Yeah.
But that can
like
be
6
off-putting.
degrees
If
of-
if you're
yeah.
not open to it, if you're not going to be a vessel or conduit, if your synapse does not fire in that way,
Yeah.
then it becomes a non-connection.
Yeah.
So
You can shut it down real
yeah,
quickly.
Right, and you clearly are somebody who has not. So make sure that
Yeah.
you take the credit where that
Thank you.
deserves. Certainly.
Thanks.
Favorite thing in Toledo?
Ooh.
And what's the thing that Toledo doesn't have but needs?
Oh, geez. I had a feeling you were going to ask something like this. Favorite thing in Toledo. So I like going to the Mud Hens games. Not really for the baseball so much as like the hot dog and the cold beer. But
sounds great.
my family loves the Mud Hens games, and so I'm a big fan of coming downtown lately. I'm not saying this because you're here. I promise.
He practically
Don't-
made you by pointing to his hat.
What's that, Rachel? You've got kids that like to go outside, you say?
We do have kids that like to go outside, especially because everything else costs so much money.
You're welcome. That's right.
Right.
Yeah, so big fan of the metro parks. I grew up, my mom spent her whole career at the Toledo Zoo, so we love the zoo. I'm giving you lots of answers. I know you asked for one.
No, that's-
Those are a couple of the favorites.
Having it be bountiful is a good.
If you were going to say one and it did include the metro parks, it's better for you to do more. So you
Hate
get
them,
in
they're
there.
horrible.
Yeah.
It's why you keep winning all the awards.
I feel like they can make something cool.
I know,
And then the
right?
backside of that question, you're not getting away from it. What's the thing that Toledo doesn't have that it needs?
Oh, let me think. I wish we have a little bit of it. We don't have enough. I wish we had more brunch options.
You know what, Rachel? I have something you need to invest in.
Oh, okay.
I have been wanting to do an awesome brunch place for years. I already know the name of it.
The
What is
igloo?
it? Are you going to tell us?
We call it- what-
The igloo?
It's
The igloo is
available.
basically
right,
perfect.
it's right for the picking. It's centrally located.
You can
Two
put
people at
3
a
seats
time.
in there.
That's right.
Prime real estate.
Yeah, yeah.
No, but like the whole brunch culture, the time of day, that it's on the weekend,
It's
the food.
It is a hobby
It's
in
the
Columbus,
best.
in Chicago.
In
Yeah.
Chicago,
It's a
it
whole
absolutely
lifestyle.
Ann Arbor as well.
is.
Yeah.
Ann Arbor too.
Yeah. So we've got a couple good places that I will
Yes.
give credit where credit's due,
Yes.
but we certainly could.
So to give some credit, tell it where's your brunch spot that's your favorite and why?
Yesterday, I went to Rosaria's
Yeah.
in Perrysburg.
That's good.
So good, because their patio is beautiful. Focaccias, I like focaccias.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
good too.
that's good. Those are
What
two
is
of
your
my favorites.
guys' brunch item? Is it truly a
Well,
smorgasbord, or do you have a go-to?
They have a huge menu.
Yeah, I usually would only go to brunch with people that everyone gets something savory, and then there's something that you have
Like
a
an
sweet for
appetizer, a brunch
sweet that's
appetizer.
shared.
Okay.
That's how
So
you
if
brunch.
you're gonna like get waffles as your brunch meal, that's insane. You get eggs.
That's me.
See, Kevin?
Yeah.
You get eggs, and then there's a stack of
Yes, my
pancakes
manager
that everyone
was-
Yes,
shares.
and you just
Yeah.
like nibble on it.
Yeah.
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 That's common
So-
brunch courtesy, by the way.
It's common.
Yes.
It's common.
Unwritten rule.
Yeah.
But
This
yeah,
sounds
something
dreadful.
eggy usually.
All
I
right.
don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Big
Love
fan.
it. Love
Yep.
it.
I think we made a
Made a connection.
Connection.
What are you doing next Saturday?
Yeah, that's right.
And Sunday, wait.
That's right.
Is that too much?
You know what? If that isn't Gretchen to a T.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm sorry. Did I
Yeah.
just propose?
You can't say a day where I'm not open.
What about Monday too?
All of them.
What are you doing after the show? I brought some food with me.
Breakfast for dinner.
That's
breakfast
right.
for
How
dinner.
big is your car?
Great when Gretchen pulls out a casserole.
Oh my gosh.
How do you go on brunch?
An omelet station right here.
Omelet station.
Oh my
Omelet station.
goodness.
Love it.
Rachel, thank you so much
Yep.
for the time.
Yeah,
I appreciate
thank
it.
you.
Thanks so much for having me as a guest. Huge thanks to Rachel Gagnon, our guest for the show. Thanks to our sponsors, Retro Wealth Management and WorkSpring, for their support. We'll be back in another episode of the 419.
Join WorkSpring today. As a WorkSpring member, you'll gain exclusive access to invaluable resources, on-demand support, discounted training, events, and HR solutions, plus so much more. Your yearly dues are based on the size of your employee base and the type of organization. So reach out to Russ Wozniak, the Member Experience Director at WorkSpring, at 419-390-4527 or russ.wozniak@workspring.org with any questions you may have. Not quite sure what solution you need? Connect with an HR consultant at WorkSpring today. Learn more at workspring.org.